Hello guys, and welcome back for another video. In this video I will be talking about the final day of the Ryder Cup, and what an action-packed day it has been. Please join me in congratulating Team Europe for beating Team USA and retaining the trophy. Let's get straight into it. The air crackled with an electric energy over Long Island, New York. It was the final weekend of September 2025. And the iconic Bethpage black course had transformed into a cauldron of passion and patriotism. This was the Ryder Cup. Team Europe, led by the calm and collected captain Luke Donald, had arrived on American soil not just as competitors but as defenders. They carried the famous golden trophy with them, a prize they had so brilliantly won on home turf in Rome. Now they faced the ultimate test, defending their title in front of a fiercely partisan American crowd, a sea of red, white and blue that roared for its heroes. It promised to be a gladiatorial contest of skill, nerve and unwavering team spirit. The opening days of foursomes and fourballs had been a tense affair. Europe had managed to build a slender but crucial lead, showcasing the remarkable chemistry and camaraderie that has so often been their secret weapon. Every point won was celebrated with a passion that reverberated back across the Atlantic. The European fans, though outnumbered, made their presence felt with songs and cheers, a small pocket of blue and gold in a vast American amphitheatre. The players fed off this energy, battling for every inch on the notoriously difficult black course. The stage was perfectly set for the final day's drama, the Sunday singles, 12 one-on-one matches that would decide everything. The anticipation for Sunday was immense. This is what the Ryder Cup is all about. It's not just about golf. It's about national pride, about playing for the man next to you, for the flag on your shirt, and for the millions watching at home. The American team knew they had a mountain to climb, but they were spurred on by the deafening support of their home crowd. The infamous warning sign on the first tee at Bethpage advises it is a course for highly skilled golfers. And on this Sunday, it would demand not just skill, but an iron will and a heart full of courage. Could Europe hold on, or would the American Eagles soar on home soil? As the first players teed off under the crisp New York sky, the tension was palpable. Each match felt like a final in its own right. Luke Donald sent his players out with words of encouragement, reminding them of the bond they shared and the journey they had been on together. He had masterminded the victory in Rome, and his calm leadership was once again the bedrock of the European challenge. The task was simple in theory: secure the handful of points needed to reach the magic number of 14.5 and take the Ryder Cup back to Europe. In practice, however, it would be one of the most demanding and dramatic days in the history of the sport. From the very first matches, it became clear that Team USA was not going down without a monumental fight. They came out with a renewed sense of purpose, determined to turn the tide in their favor. The roars from the crowd grew louder with every American birdie, every one hole. The leaderboards, once comfortably dotted with European blue, began to flash with a worrying amount of American red. It was a comeback of epic proportions, a display of individual brilliance that put the European lead under immense pressure. One by one, American players like Ben Griffin and Sam Burns secured vital points, chipping away at Europe's advantage and igniting hope throughout the vast galleries. The pressure began to mount on every European player still out on the course. The comfortable lead they had held now felt incredibly fragile. The noisy New York crowd sensed the shift in momentum and became the USA's 13th man, their cheers echoing through the trees with every European misstep. It was a testament to the unique atmosphere of the Ryder Cup, where the mental battle becomes just as important as the physical one. The European veterans and rookies alike had to dig deeper than ever before, searching for the resilience to withstand the onslaught and find a way to secure the crucial points needed for victory. It was one of the most one-sided Sundays in recent memory, a relentless wave of American scoring that left the outcome hanging precariously in the balance. The European team, which had looked so dominant in the pairs formats, was now locked in a desperate struggle for survival. Every putt became magnified in importance, every tee shot fraught with danger. The dream of a famous victory on American soil was slowly turning into a nerve-shredding fight to simply hold on. The players knew that the hopes of a continent rested squarely on their shoulders, and the weight of that expectation was immense. For the watching fans, it was an emotional roller coaster. Hope turned to anxiety, and confidence gave way to nervous anticipation. The early European celebrations were replaced by hushed conversations and frantic calculations. Where would the final decisive points come from? As the afternoon wore on, fewer matches remained on the course. The fate of the Ryder Cup would be decided by just a handful of players, each engaged in their own personal duel under the most intense scrutiny imaginable. The American comeback had been stunning, setting the stage for a conclusion that would be etched into Ryder Cup folklore forever. As the drama intensified, two key matches held the fate of the Ryder Cup. First, it was the passionate Irishman, Shane Lowry, who stepped up. With nerves of steel, he secured a vital result on the 18th hole. His performance guaranteed that Europe would reach at least 14 points, meaning that at worst, the contest would be a draw. Under Ryder Cup rules, this meant Europe, as the current holders, would retain the trophy. The relief was enormous. Lowry roared with emotion, celebrating what he later called the hardest couple of hours of my whole life. He immediately praised his captain, calling Luke Donald the greatest that ever lived. This moment ensured the cup was not lost, but the outright win was still in the balance. The focus then shifted entirely to the final groups. All eyes turned to the English firebrand, Tyrrell Hatton, who was locked in a tense battle with America's Collin Morikawa. Their match was all square as they walked to the 18th tee, a daunting par 4 that had tested the world's best all week. The entire Ryder Cup had distilled down to this single hole. Hatton knew that a half point was all that was needed for an outright European victory. The pressure was almost unbearable, but this is where legends are made. He needed to execute under the most extreme circumstances, with his teammates, the opposition, and the entire golfing world watching his every move. Hatton produced the shot of his life. After a perfect drive down the middle of the fairway, he struck a magnificent approach shot that soared through the New York air and landed safely on the green. Morikawa, under immense pressure, was unable to match him, leaving Hatton with 2 putts for glory. The tension was incredible as he stood over his first putt. He rolled it close to the hole, so close that the half point was immediately conceded by his opponent. It was over. Europe had reached 14.5 points. They had won the Ryder Cup. Hatton threw his arms aloft in a mixture of relief and pure elation. The scene on the 18th green was one of pandemonium and pure joy. Hatton was instantly mobbed by his teammates, a wave of blue and gold flooding the green in celebration. Captain Luke Donald, vice-captains, and every player embraced him, sharing in a moment of collective triumph. They had faced down the American comeback, they had conquered Bethpage Black, and they had won the Ryder Cup on foreign soil. Hatton's nerve and skill under pressure had delivered the winning moment, a shot that would be replayed for decades to come, and a memory that would bind this European team together forever. The celebrations that followed were raw and emotional. They showed just what this event means to the players. In one of the most poignant moments, Spanish superstar Jon Rahm was seen with tears streaming down his face as he shared a long, heartfelt hug with his hero and vice-captain, José María Olazabal. It was a beautiful connection between 2 generations of Spanish golf, a passing of the torch steeped in the spirit of the late, great Seve Ballesteros. This was more than just a win. It was about legacy, friendship, and honoring the giants who came before them. These moments are what separate the Ryder Cup from any other tournament in golf. This victory was a triumph of team spirit over individual brilliance. While the American team mounted a spectacular singles charge, Europe's success was built on the foundations of unity laid throughout the week. They played for each other, supported each other, and celebrated every small victory as a collective. For the players, the Ryder Cup is a chance to represent their continent and play for something bigger than themselves. The prize money is irrelevant. The real prize is the pride of winning for your teammates and hearing the roar of your fans. It's an honor that they will cherish for the rest of their lives. For the fans who travel the globe to lend their voices, the Ryder Cup is an experience like no other. It's a festival of sport, a biennial pilgrimage that fosters a unique sense of community. The European supporters at Bethpage, though small in number, were mighty in voice, providing a constant source of encouragement that did not go unnoticed by the players. This win was as much for them as it was for the team. It was a reward for their unwavering faith, and a memory that will fuel the songs and celebrations until the next battle commences on European soil. They are the heartbeat of the event, creating the unforgettable atmosphere that makes it so special. Ultimately, Europe's victory at Bethpage Black was a day to remember. It was a story of holding your nerve when it mattered most, of teammates becoming brothers, and of the unique magic that only the Ryder Cup can provide. From Lowry's grit to retain the cup to Hatton's heroic final shot to win it, this was a performance for the ages. It reaffirmed that in this most individual of sports, coming together as a team can create something truly powerful. This European team left New York not just as champions, but as custodians of a legacy, having added another glorious chapter to the incredible history of the Ryder Cup. Massive congratulations again to Team Europe, and can't wait to see them again in their future tournaments. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel for more updates like this. Bye for now, and catch you all in the next video.